So, hi, Assalamualaikum, and very good evening to Amal Uman. Thank you for spending your time with us. So, we're conducting this interview regarding to our assignment about sociology. So, Alya will start asking you the question.
Okay,
Okay.
so for today's topic is we'll be talking about young married couple. So, first question I'll be asking is when and how long actually have you been married?
Okay, so I was married um on 27th of November 2020, which was like about 5 months ago. So yeah.
Okay, so it's been 5 months. Okay,
Yep.
so second question is currently what are you studying? What courses are you studying and where do you study?
So I'm a freshman at UW Madison in the United States, and I'm taking actuarial science.
Okay, Dura?
Since you just started with your study, why did you decide to get married while you're still studying at this very young age?
So I think because it's time for me to get married. Yeah. So that's basically it. you know, when speaking of like jodoh, it's not easy for us to like to think of it as maybe too early or like too late, because like we never know when is our time to get married, right? So I think like for me, I think that it's time because me and my wife, we're both going to the same university, which is both overseas. So I think that it is time. So yeah, that's when I decided to get married.
Okay. So, as we know, um, to get married as a student is actually a very hard thing. So, how did you convince your parents and your wife's parents to get into this marriage?
Well, actually, I didn't really have to convince them. I just say to them that I want to get married, and yeah, and then they agree. Maybe this is also because they trust me as, as an individual, as a man who will lead a new family. And I think it is also because of maybe even at such a young age, maybe I've shown them like enough maturity for them to trust me. So yeah.
So, like is your place of study has something to do with your marriage? I mean, like maybe it's because you guys are going to study overseas, so your parents are like, okay, yes, you can get married, something like that.
Yeah, as I've mentioned, yeah, that's definitely an important part of it, because like we've been together for quite some time, and then like we both applied to the same universities, and we both got into the same universities, and essentially, uh, I think it also makes sense for us to get married, because like we've already been planning to get like our life together from the get-go. So yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next question is actually how much does your life change after both of you guys get married?
Yeah, I think it changes a lot. But not really. Do you get me? Like, um, my life in general has been um relatively the same, except for the part that it's with the love of my life right now. So which means that I have extra responsibilities, and I have some extra things that I have to put in mind, like I have to think of my own family and her family as well, and I have to act like a real man now, even though I'm still like 20 years old. So yeah, my daily routine and all has been like it's not the same, but it has been relatively uh, not changed much, but it changes, maybe like from what I have to think about, and from my like perspective of life. So yeah.
Okay, so apparently, according to Hammer, family and school conflict refers to the demands faced by students in higher education who are married and who may or may not have children. So, as a married student, what do you think is the most concerning problem? Is it financial problem or balancing the student and married life? Since you guys are, really young.
Okay, so I think like the most challenging part is basically the balancing between the student and married life because I'm also working. So instead of just like student and married life, I also have to balance it out with my work responsibilities. So yeah, I think that's the most challenging part because like since this is an online semester this semester, so like there's tons of homework, and I also have to work like about 10 to 12 hours per week, as well as the responsibility I have as the leader of a family. So yeah, that's the most challenging part, I think.
Okay. And as you mentioned just now, you've been working, right?
Yep.
So is that how you manage your financial, or you're doing like something else or anything?
Yeah, so that's basically it. I work so that I can give extra allowances to my wife every month. And also so that she's smiling right now. So also that I think um since like all of my classes are online, so I think why not I just work
Yeah.
so that I can get extra money. you
Yeah.
know yeah, so basically that's how I manage my financial.
Okay. So, from the study that has been conducted by two of University of Muhammadiyah Malang students in 2002, they mentioned that adjustment will determine happiness and satisfaction in marriage. So, how do you adjust yourself from being single to a married student, especially when it comes to your mindset and your action towards your responsibility?
Yeah, so as what I've said just now, I think that um, since I have extra responsibilities right now, there are certain things that I have to adjust. So like before this, like I can play games all day, like video games all I want, and like I can I can like hang out with my friends like all the time and whatnot, and yeah, because and yeah, so that's why I think like right now I can still like do some of that stuff, but it's important for me to adjust it so that I won't be neglecting like what's my current priorities. So yeah, basically my like time time management, or like my division of um how I spend my time, and um yeah, and basically marriage, because I also want to like go out with my wife and like went on a date or something. So yeah, there's certainly been an adjustment in my time. Yeah.
Okay, so for the next question is, so we all know that studying can be really stressful because all of us are student here. So how do you cope stress related to study and marriage itself?
So essentially, stress, like everyone will experience it like in many times in their life, right? So for me, I don't have like anything specific to cope with it. Just maybe like do stuff that makes you feel happy, I guess. Like for me, sometimes like we'll both go to play like volleyball with our friends, or even like play video games. Sometimes we play Overcook, and so yeah, basically like there will be times in life that you feel stressed, and I think that it's perfectly fine, and you just have to endure it and like try to take it as best as you can.
Okay, it says that marriage remains a measure of success for the couple and families. So what is your opinion to this statement?
mm, I actually don't really get it, like what do you guys mean by marriage as a measure of success? Is it like we only be successful when we're married, or
Uh,
I don't understand it.
no, from this statement, it means like something. Um, for example, for us Malaysian, um, our parents or grandparents sometimes will say that, oh, you have to study first and then you get married. You cannot get married at a very young age. I mean, it will like
Affect how your
yeah.
success and your life.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
see.
what's your opinion?
Yeah, as I've said, we cannot really determine whether or not like um what should comes first, whether like we have to finish studies first or we can get married while studying, because like everyone's life runs at a different pace. um Even when I'm already married now, like I wouldn't suggest like everyone else to get married while they're studying, um like everyone live their lives differently, right? So I think essentially it comes to case by case basis. Like um if a person believes that he or she is already ready enough to get married while they are still studying, then they should go for it. There's no like generalization of like being a student first and then getting married as like the meta, or as like the best way of like living life. So yeah.
Okay. So, from the state press, so many couples feel ashamed to choose this path because of negative connotations attached to it. So, as a Malaysian, basically, have you ever received any bad response or judgment from people around you?
Oh, actually no, because like first I've never received like any bad response or judgment, but in fact I received like many positive like what do you call it, like many positive like vibes coming from people, like saying that, oh, it's great that you guys got married and whatnot. So yeah, basically um I think like maybe the actual like stereotype of like people getting married early is bad is sometimes maybe it could possibly just be in our own minds. Like or it maybe depends on our own circle. Like if we live like with people who are not so positive on this kind of things, then maybe they could potentially hurt you. But in my case, like everything, like everyone was like really positive about it.
Okay. So, before and after getting married, have you ever think that marriage is actually will be a burden for you as a
Oh,
student?
actually no, and in fact I think like it's a blessing for me, because imagine like before this, everything that you do, you essentially do it alone or maybe with your friends. But right now, like everything, like every simple steps of life that you take, and like every simple routine in your daily life that you take, you have someone else beside you. So I think that's like maybe one of the beauty of marriage. So I do not think it is a burden, but in fact I think like it's one of the biggest blessings in my life, if not the biggest. So yeah.
Okay, so according to UM study, in 2018, it was found that students who married at college had a positive self-concept. So, how about you? Do you think having positive self-concept helps a lot with your marriage?
mm, I don't know, like I'm not like a very optimistic person myself, but maybe yes, maybe like it does help with you um having the courage to tell your parents to get married, and like actually having the courage to take on the challenges of being married while still studying. So maybe even if I didn't realize it, maybe yes, because when I first planned to tell my parents about getting married, like I I always like think of it like back and forth, like I'm not really sure, but then I think like yeah, I should do it. So yeah, maybe positive self concept does help in getting you the courage and like in making you be more confident of yourself.
Okay, so this is the last question for this interview. Okay, do you think it'll make any difference if both of you decided to continue your study at Malaysia and not somewhere else?
So to be frank, I don't know because like that's not what happened. So I'm not sure if I would know whether like what would have happened if this didn't happen. So yeah, um honestly I don't know, but um hmm, how can I say this? Yeah, I just don't know because that didn't happen. So yeah.
Okay. So that marks the end of our interview for today.